I don't review many shooters on my channel, but Gears of War is a franchise that has always been near and dear to me. The high-tempoed and adrenaline-rushing gameplay has always been a staple in the franchise since day one, and Gears 5 is no exception. On the surface, Gears of War looks like the stereotypical violent game. There's blood everywhere, you have all these hunks grunting all the time, there's a frickin' chainsaw attached to a machine gun. You can't get any more stereotypical and over the top than that. This is a game where you run around and fuck shit up. Gears 5 is simply full of testosterone. Believe it or not, that is not the reason why this is my favorite shooting franchise of all time. The reason I love Gears is due to its superior gameplay. Gears has always emphasized movement. If you want to succeed in multiplayer, you have to have the ability to be light on your feet, strafing back and forth as you shotgun your opposition to shreds. Obviously in all shooters you want to stay alive and murder people, but in Gears your movement will make or break you. Simplicity is king in the Gears franchise. There are no loadouts in ranked matches where you're required to mix and match weapons. You just spawn with a machine gun, shotgun, pistol, and flash grenade. In addition to this, there are a couple of power weapons scattered across the maps. In contrast to its competitors, Gears 5 rewards aggression. You may have the upper hand at times while in cover, but it's very difficult to actually hide thanks to tremendous map design. Camping is almost obsolete in Gears 5 since every corner of the map is flankable. As said by the Wu-Tang, you best protect your neck, otherwise someone will shove a shotgun down your throat. This is a breath of fresh air to me because in games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, it's impossible to play one match without seeing players camping. And can you blame them? Those games reward camping. In Gears, I just run around all willy-nilly and let my shotgun do the talking. Gears 5 introduced hit markers, which was helpful for my shotgun battles because I don't typically aim down my sights. You'll notice I'm a blind fire kind of guy because it allows me to move as much as possible, guiding me away from unwanted bullets. Being able to see those little shotgun pellet hit markers really helped me when I was blind firing. If you haven't noticed by now, the Gnasher shotgun has become a fan favorite and a staple in the franchise, but I do have to say that I found myself using the Lancer a lot more often in Gears 5. You have to use the right gun for the right scenario, and the Lancer is a great option for mid-range battles. If you find yourself rushing with the shotgun in an open space with enough room for a guy to Lancer you down, odds are you'll get exposed. The guns are much more balanced in Gears 5, which is another reason why it rules the roost on Xbox Live. Long-range weapons like the sniper and M-bar make their return. I noticed that it's much easier to aim and move while in cover, so pro tip to all y'all sneakers out there, aim in cover. There's also this special new Lancer which has a grenade launcher attached to it. It flies up in the air and then obliterates the enemy. Pretty cool, right? This is not something you would spawn with, but another power weapon that you'll battle the enemy for. Lastly, there's this new hammer thingy that destroys multiple enemies up to a certain radius. I would say the radius is a little bit longer than you'd expect, but the wind-up to actually get it to swing takes a while, giving the enemy a long window to attack before you drop the hammer, so to speak. Within every mode, but especially Team Deathmatch, teams will work to control the power weapon locations. Most maps have an explosive gun like the boom shot, and then a long-range weapon like the sniper. The teams that control those two spots usually end up victorious. This is the case even in matches like King of the Hill, where you're not necessarily required to get more kills than the other team. Gears 5 might be a simple game, but there's still some strategy in dominating certain parts of the map. When you get a power weapon, you can strategically use it to your advantage. The cover system within the Gears franchise has always led to a lot of mixed perception. I believe it enhanced the gameplay tremendously because it allows you to choose when to be aggressive and when to hold back and recover your health. Others dislike the fact that rolling and swapping into cover are both mapped to the same button, but I've never felt that that was really an issue deciphering between the two. To each his own, I guess. The most classic crime that has infested the Gears community since its existence over a decade ago was stealing kills. This is when you down an enemy and someone else on your team finishes the enemy off, leaving you with some points, but no credit for the actual kill. Stealing kills would literally ruin friendships. I used to get into so many fights with my boy Hayden back in the day. Good news to all y'all youngins out there, in Gears 5, kill stealing is no more. As long as you've damaged the enemy at all, you're rewarded with a kill, which means no more ruined friendships. Multiple people can get credit for murder now. It's 2019 after all. If you are new to the series and you're in the market for a fun shooter, Gears 5 is a must-play. I literally bought an Xbox One for it, and although that may sound crazy, it was worth it. This is a multiplayer game that will receive new maps, characters, and of course, patches throughout the years. The Gears community is serious, and the esports world is definitely going to put this game over the top. In my channel, I always credit Nintendo for its simple gameplay that's easy to learn but difficult to master. Gears of War may not borrow a lot of elements from Nintendo, but it does lend a certain level of accessibility. Bad news, boys and girls. I'm probably going to take another hiatus from my gaming channel, but the good news is that I will be playing Gears 5 for a very long time. Now if you'll excuse me, it's time to lock and load!
Tossing a flash!